Record. All right. Welcome, everybody, to our December 13th coaching call. Congratulations, you guys completed the Star Diamond accountability sheet, which was definitely rigorous. And you guys just rose up in excellence. And we're super excited for you guys. And, these are the things, it's not just like a one and done check it off the list, but these are activities that you want to continue as an entrepreneur with your Plexus business. Always thinking how you can maximize this opportunity. And so the tasks that we had to do definitely helped initiate some of those activities and those exercises if you haven't done them yet. So 8 work days, you wrote your I am clear statements and you went live to share them with the world. You did 5 bold business posts and you made a list of 10 dream team potentials, people that you can totally foresee becoming a diamond in Plexus. And then you are working through the Diamonds in December training calls. So those are amazing. So way to go. So you guys earned tonight's call. And then we are also going to be setting up a call with the amazing 7-star diamond Tamara Holloway, who we just hung out with last week in the Turks and Caicos Island, private island, as part of that island group. So we were on an exclusive, uncultured adventure on a private island. So it was amazing. You definitely want to be a star diamond because Plexus really rolls out the red carpet for us. And it's just such a blessing, such a gift. And in a busy momming season, it comes as an extra special gift with just being able to get away, think the thoughts, pray, all of those things, and just have someone else serving us for the week. They did our laundry, like the ladies were literal fairies, bringing us any drink, any foods we wanted, amazing dinners, lunches, breakfasts. So beautiful. And of course, in a beautiful location with gorgeous weather and the sun beating down in our faces. It was so precious. Luxurious I think is the right word for it. So congratulations, you guys. Super duper proud of everybody for earning tonight. I just wanted to, before we delve into coaching, I just wanted to highlight one call that I listened to. So my flight actually didn't land in Indianapolis until 12:30 a.m. and we had boarded left our villa, 10 a.m. in the morning. So it was a long time. Plus I live about 2 hours from Indianapolis. So I didn't get home till the wee hours of the morning. But on the way from Indianapolis home, I was just binge listening and catching up on those Diamonds in December calls. And they're so good. Anybody that's not taking advantage of those I don't know what they're missing out, because honestly, it's not like one call or one book study or any one thing that's necessarily going to massively propel you forward in your business. It's the cumulative effect of just choosing to put yourself in a position to be encouraged. And I think when we don't do that, or, one thing that I often see is when we are discouraged or we are maybe not moving as fast as we want to be, or maybe you park the car because of life circumstances or whatever. The worst thing you can do, it's kind of like not going to church and not fellowshipping. Well, guess what happens when you aren't in fellowship anywhere? Time after time, Sunday after Sunday, you get discouraged. And obviously it's not required for salvation, but it's important for us to stay encouraged, right? So the same thing with putting ourselves in position to be encouraged on the Plexus end of things. Pop an earbud in. I have been doing this for almost 8 years. And I would say on a weekly average, I have had an earbud or my speaker on my phone or computer with me while I'm doing laundry, while I'm driving, while I'm, doing mindless tasks around the house, because I know that I need the encouragement. I need the inspiration. I need those little ideas mulling around in my brain so that when I have a chance to sit down and do something, that I can act out of that. And it goes back to, and this is why I think these coaching calls are so important, is because what we're thinking our actions that we're taking are totally a result of what we're thinking and what we're feeling. And so if we can help you guys just think think the right thoughts and become aware of the thoughts we're thinking, and also letting ourselves be influenced by other people's perspectives. I think that is like a key component to this business. Just like we hear all the time, like, this business is whatever 20% skill set, but just a massive part of what we do is mindset, because we act and we react and we don't take action based on the thoughts that we're thinking. Anyways, full circle here. So I was really inspired by something Trisha Rieger said, which was she realized that, she wants to grow Matt's leg. So her husband, she wants to get him beyond emerald. I think he's an emerald right now. And she realized that she was posting about 50-50, 50% products, 50% business. That's an okay ratio, right? Well, she said, you know what? I'm going to shift it up. I'm going to mix it up and start doing 70-30. What if I start posting 70% about the business and 30% about the products? And she also challenged her team within a 24-hour period on social media to be saying something about money, income, finances, using those words. And I was just really challenged by that, because the way to grow Plexus is recruiting business builders. Of course, the products are life-changing for a lot of people, and a lot of us came in for products. And so I feel like it's taken me how long to get this through my brain that the way to grow this and exponential growth, just like we were learning about last night on the 21 laws of leadership, is that we can add or we can multiply. And the way we multiply is by recruiting leaders for the business. And if that feels uncomfortable to you, welcome to the club. You get to learn the skill set and do it uncomfortably. Okay. So it's okay if it doesn't feel comfortable to you, but that's the path to growth, So I just wanted to just put an exclamation point on what she shared, and maybe go back and listen to that, and not just let it be something that you hear through one, in one ear, out the other, but actually where you take action and shift something different in the way you post. So, because I think all of us want to rank up, all of us want to be star diamonds and to be a leader of leaders and to really have the platform of Plexus to impact a lot of people. And the way to do that is to have other leaders on our team. Okay. And if you're feeling frustrated because maybe you feel like I have, in light of, when I started, I shared the products. I didn't share the business. And so I felt like I recruited the world. I've signed a lot of level ones, and a lot of people have not stuck with it. A lot of people have. I have a lot of lifers on the products, which I'm grateful for. But and out of that, there have been some runners, and the longer I do this, the more I am getting better at, one, recruiting leaders, and two, helping to develop the people that are on the team, right? So it's a learning curve, but I just spent a lot of time on a hamster wheel signing wholesalers, triplex customers all the time. And so let's promise together that in 2023, we're going to sign up the most level 1 business builders than we ever have signed up in our time with Plexus, because of what we're saying and sharing on social media, what we're saying and sharing during our sippancies, what we're saying and sharing during our vendor events that we do, all the things as we chat with people, recruiting people for the business. And we can always default to the products, right? Okay, we know these things, but I just wanted to put a little exclamation point on that. So, okay, who is our first coachee tonight?
Oh, I didn't realize I was unmuted that whole time. Sorry. I didn't hear my kids banging on my door. Charlotte is going to coach with you, Megan, and remind me who you said is coaching with me.
Alicia is going to coach with you.
Okay. You want to start with Charlotte?
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, how are you? Oops, are you muted?
Sorry, it took me a second to figure out how to unmute. I'm doing well. How are you?
Great.
How do you be a star diamond?
The way you become a star diamond is they basically count your jewel legs that are level ones and separate legs. So for example, you might sign up a rock star runner that signs up a lot of gems, jewels, and diamonds. That would only count as one star. So they would have to be separate legs of
Okay.
jewels, or
That's
diamonds.
so cool.
Jewels, they're jewels. Yeah. So that's super cool. Do you remember how many Celeste has, Carissa?
So lifetime, Celeste, I want to say it's 13 or 15. So Celeste has developed 13 or 15, I can't remember, unique jewel legs, but on those legs of her team, there are multiple jewels. Jessica Heffley is the next highest in the company with 9 lifetime. Lifetime just means they may not have been qualifying jewels this year earning Hawaii, but over the lifetime of her business, 9. 7 for Tamra. Megan has 5 lifetime
Yeah.
jewel legs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very cool. Yes. Yep.
That's so
Great
cool.
question.
Well,
All right.
I was watching the trip and I was like, ooh, that looks amazing. But I didn't know what a star diamond was. It sounds really nice. So
Okay, well, tell me what's going on with you and in your business. What you're thinking, what you're feeling.
So I had a really, really good October, like all-time high points. Helped 2 people go fast start gold. And then that momentum kept going in November, but then kind of like died off about halfway through, where those people aren't really working anymore, but they're taking their products. But of course, that's a disappointment. And I didn't let myself get like too down about it, but to where I'm not working. Like I know I have to just keep reaching out and keep looking for people. But I feel like I don't have real confidence every time I go with business first. I feel like the conversation doesn't go smoothly. I have better luck, it seems like, when people start loving their products and I can get them to share. I've had like good, but not like where people stick around to run, if that makes sense. Like they're happy to get the money, but then when they realize like it's kind of work and it's a job, they're kind of like, on to the next.
Okay. Yeah. That congrats for those big wins. That is amazing. And we're in a business that is just so unique where we can't control the humans, but we really want to. We don't ever want anyone to quit. We don't ever want anyone to say no. We don't ever want confrontation. We just want people to catch the vision, run with it, and we just like clap on the sidelines and say, go for it, sister, right? Perfect world scenario. But real life is that people make choices. People have life circumstances that come up. Sometimes people blitz in and out of this business just as fast as they came in, like a whirlwind. And so it is super duper interesting. So your 2 fast start goals, did they do that in the month of October?
Yes.
Okay. And are they retaining the people that they signed up?
Some are. So one is under the other one. So one signed up 19 and the other one signed up, I think, whatever the 7 to 10, I can't remember, of her own, but she got it mostly through the other one. And I'm like so excited because I'm like, we're going to gold school, guys. I'm like so excited. And they're like, nope, not doing that. And so that response, like, I was like, how can they not realize this honor? They're like, nope, definitely not doing that. And I'm like, because I live in California, so it's like they could stay with me. Like I'm thinking all these things, and they're like, nope. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm still gonna learn a lot at Gold School, so it's still gonna be fine. but it's just disappointing, you know?
Did they say what, like, have they explained why? Like they were obviously guns blazing, then all of a sudden just screeching halt?
Well, to be honest, they're both in aesthetics. They're nurse practitioners, and they're not as like about the natural way that like we are. They're very into these like procedures of like rolling out your fat neck rolls and like things like these quick fix things that are fatty. So they advertise that stuff on their social. So I think our what the way we think do things natural, it kind of is conflicting with their business a little bit. So I think they were privately sharing because they know the gut health is important,
Mhm.
but I don't think it was a priority for them. And then their reasons for not wanting to do the trip is the money. But I really feel like money's an excuse, because if
Mhm.
we want something bad enough, we find the money, right?
Right.
So I can't like force them to be excited. And then it's like I would try to go back to just like regular life and talking and relationship building with them, but it's just kind of like they're not responding.
Hmm.
So I've been putting effort, into other people and relationship building with other people, because I don't want to just be all like burnt, like, you know, trying to raise the dead when there's nothing there.
Mhm. Yeah, that's tricky. But the door, I mean, the ball can always be in your court where you can bounce it back. So I think that, you know, you never know. So I'm just kind of looking at it from the perspective of the door isn't slam closed.
Yeah.
Even if they don't go to gold school, they can still continue to refer people if their perspective is just, I want to help people get with gut health. One thing that you may just voice message them and just share to me your perspective, because this is my thing, is that if people want to quit or they want to whatever do their own thing or life gets in the way or whatever, totally fine. Like I don't ever want someone to feel like pressured or guilted into something, but I also think that it's really important to share our perspectives, because we have the ability to influence their thinking. And so one thing that you might mention, if you haven't mentioned yet, and it's totally fine if this is a random voice message, but you could just, say, hey, I was thinking about you, and it's just really incredible that you went gold so quickly. That's unusual, but to do it that fast, and that those bonuses that you made, I know were probably a really big blessing to your family and all of that. But I was just thinking it would be really cool in the new year and everything with people. A lot of people will be starting some sort of health program. It'd be really cool to be starting your friends on Plexus, because it's the best. I mean, with the reset and the gut health component, it's just such a blessing to people's health. But you could say, you could mention, I love helping people create more income streams in their life. And so, your influence as a nurse practitioner and the other things that you do with skin and beauty and all that, like I see this marrying really, really well, Plexus in with all these other things. So, if once you get through the holidays and you want to chat some more about what that might look like in the new year, I would love to chat with you. So where I don't know. I don't know if that like resonates, or if you've already had that kind of conversation with them yet, but that's a little bit of perspective of what I would share, even if you feel like they already told you, no, I'm done. I don't know if they were that clear with you or not, but um, the new year a lot of times brings people back out of the woodwork. And so that's just one thought. Another thought I had is, how connected with you are you with their people?
So it's hard because some of them I tried to taproot every single one, and
Mhm.
there's just a bunch of them who just don't want to talk to me at all. And then the ones that were responsive, they as soon as I mentioned, oh, can I help you do like a 15-minute messenger event to, like things like that we would normally do with our own people, they just don't respond. And I just think it's hard when I don't know them personally, it is hard sometimes tap rooting. Some people are really open to it and some people just, they don't want to talk to me. So that has been hard because I've recruited so many of my own level ones that I'm not used to just sitting back and let somebody else coach them. So in my mind, I'm like, are they checking on them enough? Did they ask them about their dose? Why did they turn their order off? Do they know about perk points? But like, I will ask them my golds, like these questions, and they're like, oh yeah, I talked to them about it. You know, they say they talked to them about it and stuff. So I know I can only do so much.
Mhm. But if you did taproot and you did make yourself available if they have questions or, you know, what all that,
Mhm.
then you did your job. So I would be really proud of yourself for doing that because you're just looking for, it's like the shaker pan. You're out in the out west in a big chasm at the bottom of this is where the river is, you know, sifting through all the silt, looking for the little chunks of gold. So the fact that you breezed through those people that are on your team, but not directly your level ones and you don't know them, you connected with them. You made a connection and you asked to see if they were open. And that's, I mean, really, you did your job. And then the kind of the ball is in their court if because that's what we're looking for is we're looking for people that do want coached on their products and maybe they're not getting coached on them or maybe they just want more information and they're totally willing to let you pop in and pipe in perspective. And I mean, you asking if can just kind of going through the formula or the system of finding out if they're open to share with some friends, if they would like you to host a little messenger party for them. So I always think back to the yet idea, like they haven't responded yet, but
Yeah.
you planted the seed, you know, and so and that's all you can do really. And Justin, my husband says this all the time. He's like, it takes a lot of messages, honestly, like threw the seeds out and you know, the 90-day rule is going to come into play, whether it's that group of people or not. I mean, I think you're wise to not just put all your eggs in one basket, meaning like that's your only focus and you've kind of forsaken any potential and the rest of the team members. You're like, you did your thing there and you're kind of letting that simmer. And then you're going back to work with other people that are engaged and interested. And then you never know like what will pop up from that, you know? And sometimes, and then this is just part of this business. Some people blitz in and blitz out really fast. Sometimes their people stay, sometimes their people do not stay. And so it's just really interesting. And, you know, there's been seasons in my business that people have come in at different times and really helped to grow my business for a season. And some of it is very seasonal and cyclical. And other times, you know, there's people then that come in, have great retention. Maybe they're not as fast growers, but they are steady and consistent and continuing to work. And so I think it's that filtering process of looking to see who's in it for the long game.
Chime in just real quick on this topic. I saw a lot of feedback in the chat about, you know, when it comes to deeper level people, letting go of that control with customer care. And as a diamond, and I know Megan can say the same, it's kind of an interesting balance because you're trying to let your people lead and you're trying to teach them, raise them up to offer great customer care, which side note is why Joanna Slavin's video this week is phenomenal because she gives a great customer care process and system. But then, and Cassie, I know you can relate too, there comes a point where you're like, okay, this person is not taking care of these people and they make up 20 persons on my team. I'm going to step in and I'm going to make sure that these people are getting great care and that they're being, you know, given opportunities to share and so forth. And so I just wanted to chime in a little bit about, I've noticed that when I have people that have kind of rolled up to me, I've had to adopt them because their person isn't super supportive. I'll go through several options. If they're not responding, I'll try an email, I'll try a text. And then usually if at that point they have not responded, I'll send a handwritten card. I would also encourage, just as another idea, that when your people are recruiting quickly, when you have someone who takes off running, you know, we always say paddle with that wave, that is a great time to offer to get on a real quick FaceTime or a real quick Zoom, like 15 minutes with those people, like right when they join and they're excited, because then you have that face-to-face with them. You have enough rapport and relationship that they know who you are. They know who this person is who's checking in periodically. Obviously, again, you're trying to raise up your leaders to lead them well. So you don't have to be their primary hands-on support. But if you do end up having to re-enter the picture and be their primary support, then if you've done a quick call with them early on, they know your face, they know who you are. Back to the cards thing, like a handwritten card, just a point of contact. I've had like sweet people who didn't, maybe their email filtered my email to their spam, or they didn't know who I was in their text, but they got the handwritten card, the third touch point, and then they decide to reach out, and message me. Or one sweet older lady, like sent me a card at Christmas and told me her Plexus testimony about how much the products had helped her. So I just wanted to chime those things in, and I totally agree with Justin. Sometimes it does take a lot of messages, but I'm always encouraged just by this idea that, even if I've recruited 200, level 1 VIPs, I never know when I'm one newbie away from signing the next Celeste, from signing the next 15-star diamond. Or you guys all know that the sister wives are in Plexus. Do y'all know that? And they're on Melissa Eichenhorst's team. And it was just kind of like one day someone signed up a sister wife. And then the sister wife signed up, she went like fast start diamond. And you never know when you're one person away from that, or when that one person is one of those unknown people that you have yet to make contact with. And so I always, when I'm tallying my 20 messages a day, every single one of those could have priceless value. Like, you just never know, but you're the sparkler, you're the initiator. And Megan, I'm sorry, but I just had a couple other questions I wanted to throw in here that you can discuss with Charlotte. So yeah, phenomenal problem to have. Like, you get somebody or two people who fast start to gold. Hello, they have raced through 3 ranks. A lot of us know the struggle, even just to get someone to silver, or just to get someone to senior silver. So here you have gotten 2 people to gold, and all of a sudden, oh, okay, head bumps up against the lid at that point. Okay, we struggle then to develop them past gold. This is a unique point in the journey. So this is when a leader, gets to start asking themselves some higher level questions, right? It's not just a matter of, did I offer them the opportunity? Did I explain how to do a quick event? Like, you did all that, you did great. Now we have to ask ourselves some higher level questions. So we're asking, am I pursuing leaders? Am I investing in growing myself as a leader? And what is my plan for developing and investing in growing myself as a leader? Because as I grow as a leader, I naturally pass along to my team what I'm learning. And I'm naturally nudging them to develop and grow into leaders as well. And also just like, am I consistently nudging everyone around me, everyone in my sphere of influence? Am I nudging them toward growth? And if you're in my life, it doesn't really matter if you're on my Plexus team or not. I'm probably going to be like, ooh, you should go live about that. Like, I'm just naturally always kind of nudging people around me towards something that I feel like is going to grow them and be scary for them. And so that's kind of the question you ask at this point. Like, wow, I've gotten people to gold, and now I'm noticing that I'm struggling to get them past gold. You get to ask some of these leadership type questions. I think that's everything I wrote down. Are you pursuing leaders? How are you investing and growing as a leader? Do you develop your people into leaders? And are you constantly nudging people around you toward growth and toward the uncomfortable? And I also just want to add in, like, we don't do this for ourselves. Like, we do it for their good. So I nudge. Perfect example, on the Star Diamond trip, there were 3 ladies there, Jessica's guests from church, who do not work the business. And they had questions for us about some of the things that are holding them back from, possibly building this business or going all in. And Megan and I were nudging them to address some of these mindset obstacles that they are accepting as just facts when they're actually just thoughts. Now, there's nothing in it for Megan. There's nothing in it for me, but we're nudging them toward that uncomfortable and that growth and that questioning some of their assumptions. And so we need to have that same attitude toward our team. I want this for your good. Yes, you going from gold to senior gold is going to help me meet my goals too. But more importantly, I don't want to see you, stop. I want to see you keep growing.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Charlotte, was there anything coming up for you when Carissa was sharing those things? What kind of resonated with you?
So I think I could always do better with investing in myself as a leader. I have really made it a point to earn the calls and be plugged in with everybody, because I do think that makes a big difference, because I do have a lot of head trash when things start going wrong. It's hard not to think, oh, it's me, like I'm not doing the right things. So, but as far as like nudging them, I do think I do a good job of nudging them, but they won't, like I would send them like a 3-minute video and be like, look at this, it reminded me of you, give me one thing you liked about it or a takeaway, and they just won't watch it. Like just straight up won't watch it. And stuff like that. But then I have like breakthroughs where I will say, well, someone will share like their testimony, oh, I've been feeling so good. I'm like, well, you should share about that. And they're not ready to work the business, but they will share,
Mhm.
a story or two. But then like I did this event last weekend and went really well. And this girl's mom, she was like ready to sign up. And she's just like, yeah, I'll talk to my mom tomorrow. And now it's been over a week and I will check in with her like every day. So did you talk to your mom? She sounded really ready. She's like, no, not yet. I'll talk to her on the 15th. And it's stuff like that where I don't know, like, I don't want to jump over her, but it's like, I know you want to be able to afford your products. Like, what's holding you back from this conversation?
Have you
And
asked her that?
I did. And that's when she came back with, I'm going to do it on the 15th. I've allotted time for it. I think she's overthinking it. And also she assumes that nobody can afford it, and that everybody's going to think she's salesy because she tried to sell Monet like a while back and it did not work out, and like some people were really mean about it. So I think she has some like things in her head.
Mhm. Have you asked her some really pointed questions, like to literally press on maybe the fear or the pain point for her? Like she was in Monet and whatever, it flopped, or wasn't as successful as she wanted to be. Have you asked her like, hey, and it doesn't have to be really long, but like, do you feel like your experience with that other network marketing company is holding you back at any level, or do you feel some fear about letting me help you on the Plexus sharing side because of your experience last year or whenever it was?
That is no, I did not ask her that. I did get her to go live because she told this story about how all of her kids were pooping at the same time and throwing up, and her house was a mess, and like she was so stressed out, but she was in the middle of her reset, and her reset got her through the whole thing. And I was like, do you know how many moms would love to hear that story, like, and feel encouraged, not even just for the Plexus part, but just for like, oh, someone else is going through something hard. And she's like, do you really think people want to hear that? And I'm like, yes, like they do. And so she did share about that. But
Mhm.
it's just, she's so busy that these conversations are happening slow. But
Mhm.
I know, like, it's like what you said with planting the seeds. I really do have high hopes for her, because she just keeps having such amazing results with her products, and she's so in tune with her body. You know how some people, they're not in tune, they're like, I don't feel any different whatsoever. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Well, one thing that okay, so I think that we have to get into people's heads. You know who's really good at this is Emily Gibson. Even the
Yes.
way she titles her training videos is like, I mean, clickbait, because all of us want to go listen because, oh my word, we've totally had that thought before. So figuring out how to get into people's heads, how to pinpoint that little thing, to maybe spark a conversation and get curious. So it sounds like you're doing that. One thing you might try, if you know her fairly well, or I guess it kind of maybe depends on the person, your relationship with them, but you could use Jordan Roddenberry's line, I double dog dare you to reach out to your mom tonight or call her up tonight. Like, why are you waiting? What if she just called her? And maybe she'll be totally, I mean, say yes and be ready to order her products. And that way they get to her before Christmas even gets here. Like, how cool would that be? You guys can do it.
Yeah. That would be cool.
So like getting even more bold. So, I mean, it sounds like you're asking good questions and that kind of thing, but maybe even getting more bold or just creative in how to ask certain questions that really hit their fears or pain points. Because it sounds like you're doing a really good job. But sometimes when we're, working with people, it can feel like, oh my word, what am I doing wrong? Which you're not doing anything wrong. You're just getting a lot of practice with these people that, who knows if they're going to do anything, go anywhere, but we're getting practice. So then when the leaders show up, we can rock and roll with them because they're ready to go.
Yeah, I agree.
Make sense?
It definitely makes sense. I did listen to that book, the book club book about exactly what to say. And some of the wording was really helpful on that. I think I still have hangups with am I being too pushy sometimes, and that sometimes will, I think, hold me back from asking those hard questions. But I know if you just tweak the wording, and Sherry's so good at doing it, where she'll be like, well, would it be convenient for you if I did this for you? And so I'm just practicing different ways of asking people the same thing, hoping like, one of them will work. But
so I would love for you to explore that I am pushy thought, because it's a thought, not a fact, and work that through the CTFAR thing. So I am pushy, and then that is not a fact, but it's a thought that you're thinking, and then figure out what feeling is coming from that, and then what action you tend to take when that's the thought that you're thinking. We need to kick it over to Alicia, but that's something to explore and maybe chat with your sponsor about, because if you're thinking that and feeling like it, that could be holding you back from really sharing boldly and just sharing your perspective with people. It might be a little even subconscious thing, but if you can address that and choose, instead of that line of thinking, you could offer your brain a different thought that you could choose to take action from. You may find that you get different results as you're chatting with people.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. I enjoyed chatting with you.
Yes. And I just wanted to say this out loud. I wrote it in the chat, but Charlotte, like, we have all noticed that you've stepped up developing yourself as a leader. So anything that we talk about on these calls, and this is for everyone, receive it as an invitation to tiny pivots. Don't receive it as condemnation. Don't receive it as shame. Because we all are in the same boat. We all get it. And so this time is just precious for us to share ideas together. But, and I didn't think you were doing that, but I just know my tendency is the same way. Like, oh, I'm not doing a good job, but you totally are. Stacy asked real quick what CTFAR is. So Stacy, you might be new to these calls. It's a little model that we work through often, and it stands for circumstances, thoughts, actions. Oh, sorry, that's out of order. Thoughts, feelings, and actions. Every action or outcome we do or get starts first as a thought and rolls into a feeling, which creates the actions that we take. So we work through that model a lot on these calls. Alicia, have we coached together before?
Yeah, it's been a while, but yes.
Yeah, like last year. Hey.
Yeah.
So what, my question for you is, what would you say, what specific thought is the most troublesome, or what thought is creating a lot of stress in your business right now?
Well, my why, since I talked to you last, has become more defined, which that has been really helpful in regards to motivation and doing the daily things. But I suppose, and I kind of mentioned this on a team call a little bit ago, it just feeling like, because I was at 100 points last year in December, and basically since then I've been hovering at 60 some, 70 some, and I'm trying to reach out more about the business, especially the past few weeks. I feel like I've been doing really well with that for me, but I have a really hard time with it because I don't feel like I have a business story. Since I put the money back into supplements for myself and my family, and I don't use it for anything else. So it's hard for me to be creative with sharing that. And I've been reaching out, trying to do once a day, reaching out to somebody about the business. Haven't had any takers yet, but I'm a little bit nervous. Like, what if they do say, okay, I'm interested? I know I can send them some of the opportunity calls that are really great. But then I'm feeling like if they start asking me questions, honestly, about what I've experienced, it's kind of like, well, it's been hard and it's a lot of work, and it's been really, really slow. There was no fast start for me. It's been, I feel like it's an uphill struggle pulling my people behind me. I don't have any runners or anybody working or sharing or anything like that right now. So I think that's probably the biggest struggle.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think when you think about the people who they get to gold, senior gold, ruby, and for them it's not hard, slow, and a lot of work? Like, what are your thoughts about them?
I don't understand.
Well, do you believe it's possible to get past 100 points and it not be hard, slow, and a lot of work?
Yeah, I think so. When I first started, I had a friend start with me around the same time, and she was a runner, and her and her husband were going to do this together, and they got a lot of people, and that's what pushed me to gold, I believe. Yeah. And then she fell off and he fell off and everybody else fell off. So I know it can happen because I saw growth, and I saw somebody doing this with me and saw my points grow without me having to do all of the work. So yes, I know it can happen. And hearing people's stories, I have belief in other people's stories, and I see people get to other ranks, but it's right now it's been very dead.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the reason I asked that was to try to get to what are your thoughts about people who grow in that way. A really powerful question I heard Jessica ask us on the Star Diamond trip is just a real quick, who would you be without that thought? And she asked it to Tamara, who's a 7-star diamond. We all struggle. But Tamara was saying something about her tendency to always compare to others, just instantly, like receive a compliment and instantly, well, I think there was a conversation like Jessica said, you have such a pretty singing voice. And she said, well, I'm not like Sally's, but, and real quick, Jessica said, who would you be without that thought? And so I thought, what a powerful question for each of us to just ask, okay, who would I be without that thought? And so, you shared this thought of, okay, I'm trying to reach out to Business Builder. I'm trying to reach out about the business, but I have a hard time with that because I feel like my business story isn't very big. I feel like it's been hard, slow, and a lot of work. Okay, so imagine people who don't have that thought. Imagine people who approach it with a different thought when they're reaching out about their business. Like, what thought might it be when somebody is growing their points, is reaching out about the business, is posting about the business, and they simply don't have that thought? What are some of the thoughts you think might be helping create what they are creating? Is that a better way to ask it?
I think so.
Okay. Let's just brainstorm. Let's just imagine what might they be thinking?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. There's a block there. I don't know what they're thinking.
I know, that's why we're just imagining. We don't know what
Okay.
they're thinking, but
Well, I suppose they're thinking I have, I have something that everybody needs in regards to their health, and that one's easy for me. But also, this is fantastic for people who want to stay home with their kids, or who want to have a side source of income to help support, like to get their husband to not be so stressed about finances.
Mhm.
Like this is just a great opportunity for that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not really going any further with that thought.
that's good. No, that's good. That's good so far. Um, so I think this is a great invitation to really turn your radar on to the people that are growing, and start to examine everything they write and everything they say in their trainings.
Mhm.
And you're sort of scanning for their thoughts, like what thoughts are they thinking? Because you said, I'm having a hard time even imagining what they might be thinking that starts to motivate them in their business. So you kind of brought out like, okay, I know that I have something everybody needs, and it's very easy for me to think about that in terms of health,
Mhm.
but your brain maybe isn't naturally thinking, I have something everybody needs for the times we are living in financially. Oh my gosh, I saw a statistic the other day that 70% of people are struggling to buy basic necessities, like they're struggling at the grocery store. It's an all-time high. So in the same way that you're thinking, oh my goodness, everybody needs this for their health, actually more people need income, more people need financial relief. And so that's not, that thought may be new or unfamiliar, but it can become familiar as you repeat that this is that the opportunity is something everybody needs. So what was your paycheck in November? What was or it just now hit our back office? What was the number?
It was around 130.
Okay, so 130. And you use that on supplements. That's what you put it back into. But you don't have to assume that that's what everybody's going to do. So you can start to open your mind to like, how many people do I know that could use 130 extra dollars? Or 200, or you could even think to your highest paycheck, and think, if I could help somebody earn $500, or if I could help somebody fast start to senior silver and earn close to $1,000. Everybody, right?
Right.
Everybody. You're also kind of thinking about people who would want to stay home, people who would want to take stress off their husband. But I think if you start looking at people who are building from a business perspective, like Megan brought up Trisha Rieger, okay, that she's trying to post 70% about the business, 30% about the products. So maybe go examine Trisha and try to imagine what thoughts she is thinking on the daily. And again, you don't have to adopt those as your own, but it'll get you out of a thought rut, because we have habits with our thoughts, just like we do with anything in our life. Our thoughts are habits. And so you're just trying to look for a way to jolt you out of a thought rut and create thoughts that will help you build a different result. Hang on, here we go. Build a different result. So yeah, you have a thought right now that reaching out about the business feels hard because your $130 that you earned last month maybe doesn't feel huge. So that question, who would you be without that thought?
I'd be more creative with how I post it.
More creative.
Yeah.
That feels
joyful. I would be more willing to, I feel like this is something that I've heard other people do as well, but like when I go to reach out to somebody, I think, oh, they don't need the money, or they're too busy for the business or whatever. And I would do that less. I would quit putting thoughts in their head when I haven't even spoken to them yet. so to speak.
Yeah. That's good stuff. You'd stop giving yourself objections for them.
Right.
More willing to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
More creative in your posting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big one because not everybody wants to use $130 the way you would want to. Not everybody wants to stay home,
Mm-hmm.
which I know you want to. I mean, you do, but that's hugely important to you. Or
Mhm.
taking financial stress off their husband. Maybe that's not the pain point plaguing them
Mhm.
week to
Right.
week. So yeah, that creativity is going to hugely serve you because it'll get you out of maybe thinking, okay, this is only for people who want to stay home, want to take stress off their husband, and want to pay for their own supplements. It'll open your mind up to a lot of reasons why people would want the opportunity. And I loved what Megan said about trying to get in people's heads and trying to, in your posts or in your video titles, trying to literally put a line where they go, oh my gosh, I've totally had that thought. I really need to read what she has to say or hear what she has to say. And in order to do that, you'll have to get good at imagining what other people's thoughts might be.
Right.
So we just did that exercise when it comes to people building the business. Like, what might they be thinking that's helping them build this business? But you can also do it imagining pain points for the leaders you're trying to pursue. So did you, in order to earn this call, you made a list of 10 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So you have a list of names written down. Now you can look at those names and try to imagine their financial pain points.
Mm.
And you can try to imagine a literal thought that might go through their head on a daily or weekly basis that causes them stress. And while you're getting creative in your posting, you can pull those things in.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting. I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we have a little more time. So is there anything else that maybe came up for you as you were doing this Star Diamond checklist? Things that felt uncomfortable?
Yeah, doing the live for my I'm clear statements, I feeling like I'm not a leader.
Okay.
Wanting to be original in my thoughts and wanting to be encouraging and add value and all the things we're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? I mean, and I feel the same about posts in a way. Like there's times where it's what we were just talking about. I kind of copy and paste because I'm not being creative, and I want to be a leader, and I know that I'm growing as one. I can feel it. But definitely not confident in that at this point. Yeah.
So, so with your "it is clear" statements, did you feel like they were original and confident?
Yeah. I felt like they were. Yeah, definitely.
Were they powerful?
Well, this is something else that came up for me. Saying out loud the statements, I know that, or it is clear to me that didn't move me. Doesn't move me. I don't know. But putting it into the context of where I'm at now and how I've grown since Plexus has entered my life, like speaking it more as a story and more as a conversation moved me more. So that's how it resonates with me better than just making statements. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so you felt like they were original. You felt like they were confident statements. So you're I think you're kind of aware that the thought "I'm not a leader" or the thought "I'm not original" or "I'm not confident," I think you're aware that those thoughts are going to create timid actions.
Definitely.
Or extremely limited actions, like really, really small cage type actions. So I kind of heard you trying on a thought, kind of offering your brain a different thought of "I'm growing as a leader." Like since joining Plexus, I can tell that I'm growing in that way. So that's
Mhm.
kind of a little mini version of doing this, is giving your mind a different thing to build from. Another technique you can use is, you can't necessarily convince your brain, yes, I'm an awesome leader. Super, super, it's 100% clear. I'm a great leader. Yeah. I mean, that's not going to really resonate because your brain does not believe it. But what you can do is consider areas of your life where you are the thing that you believe you're not. So I know you have a lot of kids.
Mhm.
Are you a strong leader when it comes to training your children?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That's
Like
important.
warrior. Okay, so maybe in that arena,
Mhm.
you can write down a few thoughts where you feel confident and like a leader, and you
Mhm.
can try them on in your Plexus business.
Okay.
You put words to a thought like that right now.
Can I put words to thought like that?
Yeah, like one that I didn't create. I want it to come from you.
So kind of re-explain what you just told me. Is that what you're wanting?
Yeah, like you told me like, okay, I'm not a leader, I'm
Mhm.
not original, I'm not
Mhm.
confident.
Mhm.
And that creates a teeny weeny tiny
Mhm.
set of actions when it comes to your Plexus business.
Mhm.
But we also know, and your brain believes, that you are a strong leader when you're mothering your children, right?
Mhm.
That's one
Mhm.
area where it's a totally different story.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, can you maybe create a thought in your own words? And I'm going to write it down, and then we'll kind of figure out how we can scoot it over into your Plexus business.
So I suppose the first thing that comes to my mind is, as I'm leading my kids, I'm realizing that I'm leading myself because I have to set the example and
Okay.
their reflections for me. Like I see particular characteristics in them, like being prone to procrastination, being prone to comparison, being fearful, being oversensitive about whatever, and things that I try to help my kids work through or get over or deal with in a more productive way. But I also, when I see them doing these things, I see it in myself as well, and realize that I have to set the example of not procrastinating, of not being fearful, of not being impatient or snippy, or all the things that we as mothers do that our kids copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's better than I could have come up with. Seriously, that's why I asked you, because this is your own mind. Your mind is the battlefield here. And so, and all mothers can relate. Like the things that we're trying to lead our kids to do, we suddenly go, okay, I've got to get my act together because they're going to follow my example. And I love that you highlighted not being a procrastinator and not being prone to getting your feelings hurt easily, because those two things come into the business a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, you've said, I'm growing as a leader. I am setting the example for my kids not to procrastinate. And I'm setting the example for my kids of not getting my feelings hurt easily. I think those are things that you can bring into your business really well.
Yeah.
I love the idea of getting more creative in your posting, more willing to reach out, stop giving yourself objections for other people or speaking for them.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I just kind of want to encourage you to stretch your imagination. Look to people who are building the business and imagine what they're thinking in order to build the way they're building. And I think that'll expand what you're doing. If I could,
I like that direction.
if I could put a visual, the visual I'm getting is that it feels like what you have to offer is this big, but it's really huge.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I will, if I think of anything else after we hop off, I will definitely send it
Thanks.
your way. You're so welcome. Well, thank you for sharing. And I even asked you, hey, how much did you make last month? So thanks for being open.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, and everybody, you know what, everybody, the live was purposely uncomfortable. Those stretching experience, it was uncomfortable for me. Those stretching experiences, they change you. They really do. So I'm really proud. Oh yes. And everybody remember this just a quick knee jerk. Who would I be without that thought? Who would I be like without that thought? And I think that will be really powerful for all of us in our journaling. Okay. Megan asked me to give any final announcements. So be ready for after Christmas. We want to do a 100-person reach out. Those of you who are newer to the team maybe haven't done this yet, but it is such a good week, such a good time of year to just do a really big push of massive action. It's a really good time of year to just go ahead and bring Plexus up with that person who maybe you've been relationship building all year and you just have never brought Plexus up. I have people still on my team, still happily buying or silver or beyond, who I broke the ice with on a 100-person reach out. It was just a personal challenge to myself to reach out to 100 people between Christmas and the new year. And it really is amazing what fruit comes when you just do something, just do it to do it, because you said you were going to do it. You challenge yourself to do it. So we're going to do that together after Christmas. And then Megan already mentioned this, but most everybody is thinking about getting on a program in the new year. And we want that to be Plexus, and we want it to be with you. Not because we're selfish, not because earning money is selfish, but because Plexus is the best program they can be on, and you are the best person to support them. You're the best person to care for them and get them the results they want. And that needs to feel crystal clear to your brain. That's why we have you do it is clear statements. It is clear that every single person getting on a program after the new year needs to be getting on Plexus because it's the healthiest option for them. And they need to be getting on Plexus with me because I'm going to take the best care of them, and I'm going to help them get results, and I'm going to help them get their products paid for, and I'm going to help them get more than their products paid for. Okay. So, that's going to be our goal with the reach out, but we'll also make sure that we can plug everybody into a fun January group. Details to come on that. Megan, I'm looking for your face to see if.
Yeah, we will be announcing scoops about that.
Yeah, details to come on that, but I think we want it to involve the reset, but not exclusively reset. We would rather be getting people started on a 30, 60, 90 day regimen that's actually going to stick with them. So it could include or start with reset, but we want to get people going on holistic overall regimen. Okay, that's all that I wrote down, Megan. Did you have anything else we need to say to everyone before they sign off? Oh, coaching next week.
Yes, coaching, and Angie and Cassie are going to be co-coaching. So
yes, on the 20th. So we'll dial it back. We did a really big, rigorous Star Diamond checklist this last week. Those who earned it will also get a special call with Tamara. So we'll find a date that everybody can work with. But for this next week, we will get our basic work days in order to jump on coaching with Cassie and Angie. Super excited for that. Yes. Oh, and I think it'll be back to the normal time.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys, for hopping on. We're gonna just stay on this Zoom because everybody for our team party is popping on.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna start.
One more thing then before we sign off. I challenge everyone to write down your top 1 or 2 takeaways from coaching and share them with your team. Share them with the larger team. This comes back to what we were saying with Charlotte. Are you viewing yourself as a leader, and are you viewing yourself as I'm called to help other people on my team become leaders? So don't just wait around for Megan to share the recording or me to share the recording. Hop on in a thread or in a page and share something that really leapt out at you, something that challenged you, something that you're going to act on. And that is one way that you can start stepping into the role of leader. Okay, that's the last thing. Okay, y'all have a fun party.
See ya.
Hey, thank you. Bye.
Bye.